And today is another day. So obviously yesterday I was feeling a bit pissed off, to be honest with you, because it seems like every time I touch something on this bike I find out that it's knackered, or something's been bodged or swapped or whatever. Not the fault of the guy I got the bike from, because he never touched it. He literally bought it as a project and never did anything with it. So yeah, I'm just balancing the front wheel. Chuck the discs on, so that's just spinning slowly, spinning one way and spinning the other way. So we got a heavy spot on that one. Here we go, look, and back again. Head bearings are in. Oh, lovely. And obviously now the top and the bottom, I won't be able to do that, will I? Top and the bottom, yeah, move independently, because that was just full of crap and corrosion. So that's all sorted. New bearings are in, all greased up and lovely. So cheers to Kent Bearings. Do you know what, I don't think I've ever been in there and they haven't had a bearing in stock. And at least, you know, when you're buying from a proper bearing supplier like you know, like Kent Bearings, not an advert for them, well I suppose it is, you know, you're buying decent bearings, you know, Timken or something similar to that, so they're going to last. Not that this bike's going to do many miles, to be honest with you, but it's nice to have decent bearings. Like, let me just chuck a bit of tape. Oh, move all the crap out of the way. I did put some tape, there you go, yesterday's tape, recycling. So let's pop that on the top, give it another spin. So today's job is going to be, I might get to bleeding the rear brake, but I'm going to come back to that because I still can't find a footrest for this side. Now I sat on the bike yesterday, that's why the seat's on there. I sat on the bike yesterday and they actually don't feel too bad. They don't look great, so they either need a polish or a paint. So I might do that, and you know what, I might stick with them for a while. I might ride them and see how they are, and then just keep a hunt out for some standard bracket, because I don't want to seem tight, but I just don't want to spend 145 quid plus a foot peg plus a gear lever. So you're probably going to be knocking on for best part of 200 quid for a footrest. I know that sounds a bit tight, but yeah, some things I don't really want to spend money on. You know, things like brake pads and tyres are all decent kit, you know, Bridgestone tyres and decent brake pads and stuff. And all the, obviously, you know, all the seal rebuild kits and everything like that. But footrests, let's ride it and see what it's like. It might be a nice riding position. If not, I'll just have to suck it up, buttercup, and spend some money. Let's see how we're going. Oh look, are we coming back? Yeah, I think we're going to need a little bit of weight. A little bit of weight there, because look at that. Alright, that's going to settle in exactly the same place. Yeah, almost exactly the same place. Right, I'm going to start chucking some weight on that and get that balanced up. And while I'm spinning, we get some fork seals in these, and then we get some more tunes on. Right, back in a bit. Right, first fork apart. This is the one that was actually leaking, so I thought I'd do this one first. Now when I looked at the seal, where is the seal? It's in there. The seal is actually, or was actually, in quite good condition, so that gave me the feeling that someone had obviously replaced the seals fairly recently. So I think it's just a case of I say in good condition, they look new. I guess they just feel a little bit dry and a little bit stiff. So someone has obviously rebuilt these forks, because if we look at this bush, let me try and let's get somewhere where you can see it. Can you see that? Bushes are lovely, and I nearly bought some last night while I was online. But there you go. Yeah, the bushes are in really nice condition. The inside of the fork leg's nice, not that you'll be able to see that. I did have to, although I use the old trusty buzz gun to get it apart, because normally you need a special holding tool, which I'm sure you'll know has got like a star head on it, goes down the bottom and locates on the damper rod. I haven't got one. I could have made one, but 9 times out of 10, we'll say 9 times out of 10, I've never had one fail. Buzz gun normally just gets the bottom bolt undone, absolutely fine. But I did just have to put the top cap back on to give it a bit of spring pressure just to hold it, and that did the job nicely. Now the other fork I've still got to do, but the other fork, look at this. Can you see that? Top cap has obviously broken up, and it's broken up in the past, if that focuses. And what someone has actually done, if you can see the remains, someone has glued it back on. There's araldite there, and there's araldite on that end as well. Someone has glued it back on, so it's broken all the way around. Unbelievable. So at some point someone's over torqued that massively, cracked the top of it off and stuck it back down. Now that is a fucking bodge, Jesus. So I'm on the hunt for a new one of those. Front wheel balance, yeah, look at that. We've got 3 bits of tape in different places, so I'll let that spin. I might just stick one more bit of tape on, or just one more position to check it, but that's all looking good. So that's done. Right, let's get new seals in this leg. Hopefully the other leg has got fresh bushes, because if not, someone has been a real bodger if they've only done one leg. But hey, who can tell with this bike? But at least it will be good. It will be good to go when I finish with it. So let's get the seal in, get this leg rebuilt, get this leg apart, get that one rebuilt, and chuck them back in. Happy days. Back in a bit. I had to shut the camera back on quickly, because when I looked under the bike I found a bit of araldite, which if I sit that on there, look, it completes the loop. What a bodge. I've never seen anything like that. Never seen anything like it. How old do you reckon that is? Hey? Shocking. Obviously it won't be going back together like that. Yeah. Sometimes you see things which just are, yeah. I mean, obviously the top bolt won't come out because it's held in by plenty of threads inside the stanchion, but what a bodge. Yeah. Oh dear. Oh, and sorry about the mess. This place is a mess at the moment. Most of that's from yesterday when I just went, oh fuck it, just walked out. There's the tyre. There we go, and we stopped at another point. Where have we stopped? Bit of tape on. Let's have a look where our tape dots are. Yeah, look. Different places, almost opposite each other. That's balanced. Happy days. Right then, let's get these forks done. Bit of progress. Look at that, forks are back in. No oil in them yet. I'll do that on the bike, because I need to. I've loosened that adjuster off, as you can see. I need to get this one out and loosen it off, just really so that I can, helps me get the caps back on against the spring pressure. But that's nice and loose now. That needs to come off. It needs replacement. So yeah, I don't know even, I won't even loosen that off. That's going to go in the bin. Everything's done. I've left the pinch bolts undone just in case they tighten the top of the tube. They shouldn't, but just in case. But the 3 players set. You might notice now different steering damper, because what happened was, obviously I took the damper off so I could set the tension of the head bearings, because you don't want any interference that's going to give you a false reading. And when I took the damper off, I felt the stroke of it, and it moved probably 10 mm the way, just went click click click, as if there was an air bubble in the damper. So took the damper off, rotated it round, ran it through the stroke a few times, couldn't bleed it. But luckily, in the box of bits that Tony gave me, there was a spare damper. That black damper, rose joint was shot, so I took the rose joint off of the damper that was on there, and fitted that because that was nice, which meant I could lube all the dampers up, get some oil in. See, that's quite a nice bush there. That's almost new. I might knock that out. I might knock it out, put it in a plastic bag and put it in my spares pot, because I'm like that. But that feels like, literally feels brand new. So I will do that. Whereas this one, if you want to have a look at it, yeah, look at that shot. So that can go in the bin. So that's the next job. Obviously front wheels in, calipers are back on. I need to get the pads, need to get the brakes bled. But obviously that's lovely, look at that. That's completely torqued up. You couldn't get a freer wheel than that, so I'm very happy. The little ticking you can probably hear is the hairs on the tyre catching the mudguard. So yeah, next job is get the brakes bled, and then oil in the forks. Then I think I can start putting the fairing back on. We might have a complete bike soon. I'm tempted just to pull the rocker cover off and just do the valve clearances, give them a check while I'm here, because that makes sense. I mean, look, it's apart. So we'll see how I feel about that one. But yeah, it's looking good. Another day on the Slabby project. Now we have front brake, lovely. Yep, that's all together. We've got oil in the forks, 15 weight, 417mm each leg. I don't like capacity. I'd rather have a fork level where you normally remove the spring, compress the fork leg and fill to a level, because that's far more accurate for me. Because 417mm in a measuring jug is never going to be spot on. But you can do your best, can't you? And then see where you go. So, a few jobs for today. I'm going to try and get the rear brake bled up. It's been a bit of a nightmare. I might have to take the cylinder off, master cylinder off, and either backfill it or put it at an angle or whatever. But either way, I can't get any fluid into that. It's just dry and it doesn't want to play ball. I've tried slackening the banjo bolt off. I've tried vacuuming it. Can't get anything through it. So that's going to be a job for today. However, first job, if you saw a video earlier, sad if you did, but you might have seen the fairing top stay, instead of having a well nut, nice rubber well nut, which is pretty sure what they come from the factory with, someone has fitted wood screws and a dowel. So I posted on one of the Slabby pages on Facebook. Let me show you, look, I pulled the one out of this side. Look how long it was. Look at that. They weren't messing, were they? That was proper beaten in there. Anyway, I posted on the Slabby page and a guy replied and said that what he does is fit rib nuts. Funny enough, I've got a rib nut kit, M6 rib nut. Look at that. So let's bang that in there. Well, not bang that in there, you know what I mean. Compress it in there, and then that will be a properly fixed top bracket. I'll worry about getting the correct fixing later. That's not going to be difficult. I have loads of fixings that should do that job. So I'm going to crack on with that, try and get the brake done. The correct sprocket should be arriving today, hopefully. Yeah, 50 chain, 520 sprocket, and there was me gushing over a lovely new rental sprocket. Yeah, someone's just slapped this together, haven't they? But either way, it's not going to be slapped together now. It is going back together as it should be, and I'm looking forward to riding it. So if that arrives in the post today, I'll pull the back wheel out, because I want to do that anyway, to get the back end exposed, to try and bleed that caliper up so I can rotate the caliper and see if I can get a bit more movement on that. So that's today's. So hopefully, soon I can get this one out which has been a bit that has been a bit tight. Today's job will be those few things. I might try and get the top fairing back on. If I can get that in there, I'll get the top fairing back on, get the indicators mounted, and it will start to look like a real bike again. I am still waiting for a top nut. I have bonded this. It's not going to stay, don't worry, but you'd have probably seen on the last video someone had obviously over torqued it and they'd snapped off the outer edge that retains the O-ring. That's all it does, it retains the O-ring, which obviously creates the seal. So I bonded it back using my favourite bond, which is this stuff, Belzona 1221. If ever you've used this, it's good stuff. You can machine it, you can drill it, you can tap it, it's good stuff. So that's on there, and that's just pinched down. You can see there's a slight gap because if that will focus, because it's not quite level, it wouldn't sit level, but it will do the job. It will retain the O-ring and that will work fine, but it's not staying. Someone on one of the Facebook pages might have a footrest. I'm waiting on them coming back to me. They might also have sprocket cover, and they might also have a fork top cap. So fingers crossed, I might be able to get those bits in the post to me and get them slapped on. Right, let's crack on with this. As usual, for some reason I can't find my riv nut tool. Well, I can find the tool, but I can't find the adapter. So what I've done here, sorry, one-handed, is I've got an Allen bolt, a nut to act as a spacer, and a couple of washers, and that's going to go in. And then the idea is obviously you tighten the Allen bolt up. I'll use the nut to hold on to with a spanner, and hopefully that should expand that, and that should fit. If not, I'll be going down Thanet tool. What am I talking about? Thanet tools. I was going to call them Thanet tool hire, but no, Thanet tools. They might hire stuff, I don't know. And get another attachment. They'll have one there of everything. Let's see how we get on. Well, I don't know if you can see that, but all done. That's the other side there, if that will focus. So yeah, a bit of fluff. That is a little bit better than that. I mean, look at it. Whoever did that, I mean, it's a bodge and it worked, but come on, you could have used well nuts or riv nuts. It's not rocket science, is it? Right, I think I will go for pop the wheel out and have a look at that back brake, see how far we get with that. Back again, and I've had a bit of a tidy up. It was getting me down, it was so mucky. It's not perfect, but it's a lot better than it was. And I was out on the RS this morning, 85 miles on the RS out with Gibbo. There should be another video which will already be live by the time you see this one, but it was a cracking ride out. Yeah, great fun. And while I was away, Amazon arrived with a few bits. Let's just stick the camera up. Not all Amazon, I know what this is, hopefully. There we go. A proper sprocket which will fit, if I can get it in there, the chain. A 50 sprocket, 450 chain, not a 520 sprocket, you bodger, whoever used to own this bike. And that wasn't the last guy, it was the guy before him. So, one thing done. Let's hop that off. That can go on later. And then Amazon, you know, sometimes I hate Amazon for what they are, but other times, you know what, they're so useful. Well nuts, for the fairing. So these were all ordered yesterday afternoon. Some more well nuts. These are for the screen. So you've got 5mm and 6mm. And then in here we have a selection of 5mm bolts. These are want washers because I couldn't find any with a big head. They're want washers, but that's easy to do. So what we're going to do today is we'll crack on. We'll get the screen fitted. I've emailed Slipstreams about the headlamp cover with the holes that don't quite line up. See what they want to do about that. But that's okay, I can do that after the fairing's fitted. So I'm going to fit the fairing, and then see these holes. I mean, they need cleaning up anyway, they need a quick mop, but someone drilled some holes in, absolute butchers. So I have got some grommets. The genuine grommets to fit the indicators are not available anymore. So again, off of Amazon, largest grommets I can find. These will pop in there, and then obviously you then cut a square, rectangle, whatever the size and shape is for the indicator to then pass through, and then we'll do something with those holes. In the meantime, or the short term, is probably going to be a little bit of black silicone over those just to hide them a little bit. But it is what it is. But we'll give that a go. We'll get the screen on and we'll see how we can get on with it, and it should start to look a little bit more like a proper GSXR. Well nuts fitted in there, so yeah, it should all be good. Let's crack on. Right then, look what we've got, eh? Oh, that's much better, isn't it? Clear screen, black mirrors, black wheels, proper indicators. It's looking good, isn't it? I'm very happy with that. The grommets for the indicators, turn signals if you're in America, these are unobtainable. So one of the chaps off of it was either Facebook forum or whatever, found that these grommets on Amazon, I think they're 42mm grommets, cut the centres out, which is what I've done, and then they do go straight in and they fit nicely. I mean, there's a little gap around the edge, but do you know what, if you didn't know it was there, you'd be hard pushed to see it. I mean, the only problem with this is obviously some absolute fucking idiot has drilled holes to fit those god-awful indicators that everybody did in the 90s. So in the 90s they weren't an idiot, but in 2024, oh my life. So obviously I've still got these holes. I've put some silicone in them at the moment because they were proper holes that you could see straight through. So I've gobbed a bit of silicone on it, and obviously at some point that will need addressing, whether it's by me or by a future owner that gets this whole fairing painted, I don't know. But yeah, I'm happy with those, really happy. Happy with the indicators, and obviously the mirrors and the screen. So the only thing I'm still waiting for is Slipstream to reply about that headlamp cover. And then once they do that, then I'll know whether they, well, I know what they're going to do. Whether they'll just say, we'll knock a, we'll give you a bit of a discount and chuck some money back at me if I'm happy to drill it and use washers to hide the holes. I don't know. Or whether they just want it sent back and they send me a new one. But we'll see what happens there. I need to get some touch-up paint for a few bits. But no, I'm really happy. It is starting to look like, I mean, it just looks mean, doesn't it? It does. Oh, it just looks mean. Paint the fuel cap black, that was silver, so I polished that. There's a lot of things that, and to be fair, obviously, being a bit older, I remember the 80s and the 90s, and I remember what people used to do. I'm surprised it's not covered in purple anodised shit, or blue anodised shit. It managed to escape that phase. And those of you watching of a certain age will know exactly what I'm talking about. But it's getting there. It really is getting there. I've got the sprocket and rear wheel to do. Whether I'll do that tonight or not, I don't know. I might call it a day, but you know what I'm like. I call it a day, then I look at it and go, nah, fuck it, I'll put that in. So let's see how we get on. You'll either see me a bit later today, or you'll see me tomorrow. Well, you won't know either way, will you? I could just lie and say it's the next day. But anyway, I'll let you know. Catch you in a bit. We all knew I wouldn't better help it. There we go. Correct sprocket is on the back of the bike. Lovely. Chain's not in bad nick. Obviously it's not perfect. So I'll see how that goes, and while the sprockets are still in good condition I might slap a chain on it. But I've got to be honest, I don't know how many miles I'm going to do on this. That chain will probably last years. So yeah, wheels in, brakes on, exhaust is done. I need to get a footrest rubber. I was over Robinson's today, I should have asked them for one. Bugger, oh well. Yeah, there's a few little things. I need to fit the exhaust hanger, which goes up there, so I need to make sure I get the right bolt to fit in the downpipe or collector, whatever you want to call it. Then it'll be fairing lowers on. I think some fuel in the tank, and we're ready to go. Oh, what's that? What have we got coming up the road? Oh, it's the 5.0 in a rush. That's pretty rare on my road. But yeah, we're nearly there. Look at that. Let's get a bit of an angle on it, shall we? Lovely. I'm really pleased with it. And hopefully footrest, gear lever, clutch cover, fork top cap should be on their way from one of the guys on the Facebook pages, so that'll be good news. And then it'll be a case of sorting the MOT, getting it down to Tom. Before I do that, I do need to get a full-size number plate. Apart from the fact that that's horrible. Kiss my tyre, what is all that about? But yeah, that's horrible. So it will need a full-size plate, and obviously I will get a smaller plate for the road, because it's a GSXR1100, isn't it? No one runs a full-size plate on one unless it comes out the showroom or it's going for an MOT. So that'll be the next thing. Full-size plate, run it down to Tom, MOT, he'll give it a good going over. I'm quite happy that I've done everything that needs to be done. I mean, there isn't a lot I haven't done, to be fair. And then hopefully we will get some nice days out where we can run it around for a while before the winter hits. I'm looking forward to it. I've never ridden an 1100. I've ridden a few 750s, but never an 11. And I've ridden a few 1200 Bandits, which is a cracking engine. That 1200 Bandit is a lovely engine. So hopefully this won't be too far short of it. It should be nice and torquey. But hey, it's, what is it, 38 years old. We're not expecting superbike performance, are we? Oh, one more thing. Grips. I might chuck those on, but I need to get some proper grip glue. Nice set of Renthals. And they'll go on, because this has got a foam grip on one side and what looks to be a stock Suzuki grip on the other side. So let's get that done with some grip glue, and then we'll be ready for the road. I will put the fairing lowers on though, so tomorrow you may see some lowers on. You may even hear it running. Let's see what I can drain some fuel out of. Chuck some fuel in the bike. Happy days. It's going well. Catch you soon.